See, the Mississippi River is rising once again. This morning in New Orleans, the river stands, according to the Weather Service here, at a little over 12.5 feet, still more than 4 feet below the official flood stage and well below the levee heights. Forecasters say the river should start to fall in the coming days. Not expected at the moment to get to a point where they would operate the Bonnie Carey spillway. But after several years of spillway openings, some members of Congress want to know what's going on with the river. Has it somehow changed, and what we might do about that? Among them, Congressman Garret, who joins us now. Good morning, Congressman.
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
We're doing well, thank you. So, we appear at the moment as though there's no imminent opening of the spillway this year, but, we had something like 5 in 4 years. How concerned are you that maybe this is a trend long term?
Oh, there's no question that we're seeing a new trend that's happening and impacting all of us in South Louisiana. John, as you know, the Mississippi River system drains from Montana to New York to Canada. And you can look at the history of the Bonnie Carey spillway, and it used to open once every decade. And as you've indicated, we've opened it like 6 times in recent years. We're taking the water from the nation, and we're taking it on the chin. It is an extraordinary challenge for us in Louisiana.
So one of the issues is, maybe instead of pouring all this money like a fire hose into, or a river mud into Lake Pontchartrain and turning it green every year, perhaps it could be used upriver in Maurepas Swamp, or even on the West Bank marshes, using something else and developing another diversion. Are you there yet where you think that's a good idea?
Oh, I think it's a great idea. I think it's exactly what we need to be doing, is doing a better job mimicking what Mother Nature used to do. I think there are ways where we can actually improve our shipping, navigation, and ports, improve our flood protection, and improve the restoration of our coast and the health of our coastal ecosystem by managing the river differently.
People talk about you'll hear a lot of people in New Orleans talk about using the Morganza spillway more often than we do. As you know, when you start unleashing one of these tools in the toolbox, it impacts somebody else negatively. They're not crazy about that in Morgan City, for example. Is that an alternative that they should look at, is instead of putting all the strain on the Bonnie Carey, they look elsewhere?
John, I do think that looking at how to use our tools differently in regard to the Atchafalaya River, where the Morganza spillway flows into, you're looking at a static 70-30 split, 70% down the Mississippi, 30% down the Atchafalaya. In many cases, Morgan City and other areas can't take more water, but in some cases they can. We've just got to be more flexible and adaptable in a way that can actually benefit crawfish farmers, benefit our restoration of our coast. And this static 70-30 split developed decades ago is not the solution.
All right, so Congress authorized a wide-ranging study about the river, what's happening and whether we ought to manage it differently, but in its wisdom, it did not fund it. So are you hopeful that, given every other priority the Corps has for water projects around the country, how hopeful are you that somebody's going to come up with the money?
Well, 2 things. Look, we worked with members of Congress from Minnesota on down to Louisiana. We were able to get 2 different provisions, one for the northern part of the river, the other for the southern, from Missouri on down to Louisiana. While we don't have the funding to begin the study yet, there's a lot of work that's underway, including work funded this year, that's going to kind of provide all of the data sets that are really going to help us better understand how to better use the tools and what solutions are best for us in the southern part of the river.
All right, Congressman Garret live this morning with his thoughts on the rising Mississippi River. Congressman, thank you.